what to write about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just this gown? I don't know.
That was great sounds. Watts with Outside on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. I'm Preston with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ Blues is in the building. Easy Blues, you're better with introductions more than me. Who do we have this today on Behind the Brand?
Ladies and gentlemen, when we explore the lore that is the music of the city of Elm, we understand the people that have come through from time over time, layer upon layer, thrown through the way amazing turns of lotteries of rock, all the way through passing the Huffle on the right-hand side. We fully understand the legacies that comes through. Now, if we jump in the DeLorean, throw it to 88 miles an hour, and we jump back to the 9 of Cafe. There was a night of words and music. There was a sighting of a phenomenal ukulele. And attached to that ukulele was a wordsmith. Someone that took you on a full journey and had a lot of fun doing it. It was at that moment I was truly introduced to the Hamel of Ashley. So I want you to put your hands together. Not if you're driving, please keep your hands at 10 and 2. We don't need any accidents. But mentally put your hands together for the amazing, the fantastic, the phenomenal Ashley Hamel. Welcome, bienvenue.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. Yes,
Oh, wow.
yes, indeed.
So this is one of the things that I love the most about New Haven is the amount of incredible talent that just blossoms up through, that have played Crown Street, that understand why Tuesday night is one of the best nights in the history of going out, period. You took such an incredibly and interesting path. I've actually been following your career because I got to New Haven and I wanted to understand how things worked. What I absolutely loved, you took music into a different direction. You understood about fandom and what some people would say toxic fandom. And you looked at it as, man, I can go and play conventions, whether it be a Comic-Con or a PotterCon, kind of just with a gimmick record. And that opened up a huge avenue for where you wanted to go. On this show, we love to talk about not necessarily the straight path to get there, but how there are so many different paths. You started out as a person from Connecticut, you put on some incredible music, put out some phenomenal stuff going through, and now you're in Indonesia. You're actually with us 11 hours apart. You already know what the future is like. So how is tomorrow? What's Tuesday like right now? And sans all of that, we just really want to know, what made you first go for a gimmick aspect and take that route? And then please tell us how you got in Indonesia and why you're there now.
Oof, the life journey. And
Yes.
I appreciate the gimmicks with the air quotes, right? Because, and I've seen other people do these things, right? And it's a smart business move on one hand. And on the other hand, behind the quote gimmick, there was so much heart in our Harry Potter music. There was so much community and bonding, and a lot of people came into their own in this space and continue to do so. So behind all of the gimmicky aspects of the Harry Potter music, people, they would hear that, and it would kind of snag their interest, but then underneath it, these are songs that I wrote from my own heart. And my brand on the Wizard Rock, on the Harry Potter music, was a lot more not more heart-centered, but mine was heart-centered, and I would not really use a lot of a lot of my songs I could pass as Muggle songs, and you wouldn't know the difference, because I would have a few references here and there in the words about the Harry Potter universe, and the rest of it is just stories. So that was my take on it. Other people, did a little bit more like straight ahead, like, references every sentence. And like, the thing I love about the Wizard Rock community is like, yeah, we're writing about Harry Potter. So it takes away a lot of that seriousness that we have when we go into music. Like you see people like, this is my original music, and we hold our art, of course, like to such esteem, but it sometimes takes away the play, the fun in it. And so like when you come to my show, like I'm gonna surprise you with some deep stuff, some complicated musings, but like on the other hand, then I'm gonna sing about like reading in the library, and like you're gonna get like all of it. And that was the idea, the thing I loved. You could make people laugh, and if you can make people laugh in your show, then you can make them cry. You bring them all the way through all the emotions. People don't use humor as much in their shows as they should, right?
Well, no, it's a super thing, and it's actually one of the reasons, like from the show, that's my point of view. Period. Is that's why I get as into the intros as I do, so I can make the guest feel comfortable and feel really loved and seen, and you're all kind of gassed up and to come in, and this doesn't feel like a brooding type of interview where we have to pull questions out of you. We're getting to know you as a human being, and that is just, to us, it's so much cooler. But yeah, of course, humor is always there as a deflection. I talk about like what we do with Shane Penguin is we are the spoon of sugar and the methadone as well. And that's the way you kind of have to look at it. And what I loved about the Wizard Rock record in particular was it wasn't like you were just singing a bunch of songs about the movies. You had created a character. And, the character was a rock musician, that went to the dang school and like lived the life, but it was that single person point of view. I put the gimmick in quote, because I also know you have a passion for the lore of Harry Potter, and you understood those different things. So I don't think it was you acting outside of yourself. That's why I want to make sure those were in quotes, because you were being very true to yourself in pursuing that art, and that is one of the top key things that really makes it stand out. There's 1.5 million silly songs out in the world, but it's those songs that can resound and hit that chord. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So from the Harry Potter universe, you're now in Indonesia. How did you go from Hogwarts to a cafe sipping coffee in Indonesia?
And might I tell you, the coffee here is excellent. Cheers, you guys, to this toast.
Cheers.
I'm gonna get some toast and some nasi goreng.
Okay, I have no idea what that is, but okay.
It's like fried rice. That's like the national dish in a way. Nasi goreng.
Oh,
goreng
okay.
Rice, fried rice, Indonesian fried rice. Whoosh, so good.
Fried rice is good.
But yeah, kind of the two stories, like from Harry Potter into this world, are kind of related in terms of the journey, because we're talking about communities, we're talking about ecosystems and support systems. And like, as you guys might know, like the Harry Potter fandom kind of blew up on itself because J.K. Rowling just turned out to be this horrible TERF, like actively, persecuting and trying to eliminate the voices of our trans brothers and sisters and non-binaries. Like, it's so unnecessary, and it came as a shock to a lot of us. Some of us had been tracking it for a while and kind of knew it was coming along the way. But it was amazing because most of the community is queer. Mm-hmm. Like, this is where we found community and support, was in this Harry Potter, the outcast, finding found family, and like finding their way as like the outsider into this world. Like, that's what drew people into Harry Potter, and the people that were drawn to it were the queers, like we're the LGBTQI. I heard that once and I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. I'm taking it. The LGBTQ.
Yes.
We're here, right? We're here, we're queer. So for like this community specifically to be headed by somebody who's actively trying to hurt this community was just like such a backstabbing betrayal. So a lot of us really like are so brokenhearted and kind of fell out of the scene, and myself as well. And I had been having issues with this community because it's very small and it's very niche. And I was playing Harry Potter festivals, libraries. I was playing some conventions, general nerd stuff, and then other Harry Potter nerd stuff, as well as like just regular shows at Cafe 9 and whatever I could book. And the nice thing about it, I got to travel a lot with my music. So I've got a lot of people, from all around the country and a little bit from around the world through Harry Potter music. So I was already doing kind of stuff outside of Connecticut. And because of kind of the infighting and like the gatekeeping that I was experiencing in the community, I was like, all right, you know what I mean? It's time to go. It broke my heart. I thought I could do a lot more. And so I put out the record kind of as my last stamp on the thing. And thank God that I was able to put my resources to do that, because these songs deserved to get, shown. And it was kind of my like final long letter to the community. The last song on the record is called Waiting. It's not even about Harry Potter. It's just like, I'm waiting and waiting and waiting for an answer. And it's kind of about like, you said that you would love me, you said that you would care for me, but all of that was, yeah. One of the lines is, I've learned that sometimes people say I swore. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
No, we can't. That's why we're making faces at each other.
Let's keep it moving. It's okay. We're happy you're here.
So later. One of the lines is, I've learned that sometimes people say things that are partly bull to feel inspired. I've spent a whole dang lifetime in wishing you would put your money where your mouth is. Now I'm tired. So we got some people coming through. So that was kind of the thing. So it was in the Trump years too. I was like just seeing my future in folk music. My music is folk. Seeing me playing shows in Connecticut, New England, for really homogenous spaces, I got exhausted just thinking about that future. So, I have family here in Indonesia, and I had been making, the last time I had came here was like 2015. I just released an EP and I played a show here, and the show was amazing. It was like in this cafe run by like these national independent like folk artists. Like,
wow,
I'm already connected to like national artists. They're so incredible musicians. They've got a great community. The ecosystem is pretty healthy in terms of like the independent scene and the major scene. There's a lot of interaction. There's a lot of listeners. It's the fourth most populous nation in the world, 260 million people or something. They're all online. They're all connected to you. Every time I play a show, people follow me and follow the journey. I could play a show, and I did when I went home this August. I played a bunch of shows, and I played for 200 people at this like this show in Massachusetts, and nobody, you know what I mean? Nobody followed up, nobody connected, like 2 or 3. In Indonesia, I have the ability to keep contact with them and, keep giving them content or stories or whatever. So I just, the universe was pushing me to be here. Every time I would come for a few weeks, just kind of check it out, spend some time with my family, my body just felt so at ease. It felt so comfortable to be like around other Asian people. Like I could see everybody, I could see the stage at concerts because everybody's my height. You know what I mean? I can see everything. We all short out here. I don't know. So, I'm grateful to be able to do this and to be here, but ever since I did take the plunge and move, it's been really, really
Mhm.
beautiful. It's been really, the opportunities are coming. Alhamdulillah, thank praise be. And so, yeah, that's where I am right now in
I
Indonesia.
know. And what's so super interesting is, getting to know you, listening to your stuff, and actually sitting and having conversations with you. I always had this one quote in my head, and it was Maya Angelou. And I only now truly understand why I have that quote in further in this conversation. The quote unquote is when a person tells you who they are, believe them. But it's also can be, I guess, broken down when it comes to you is when the universe tells you who you are, believe the universe. And you did that, and it has brought you to Indonesia, where you're truly understanding what it's like to be a folk artist in more of a less mechanical, you know, um, universe, where it almost comes back to, I hate to call it, folk in its tradition, not its Americana tradition. Understanding that folk music is any type of music that really originated in areas. True.
You know, I don't want to say yes, but like, let's be honest, right? Yeah, a bit, you know.
Mhm. It's okay. I can be controversial. You can say you have a point, but I don't necessarily want to be there. You don't have to be committal to this. I can 100% because anyone who has any hate mail and doesn't like what I have to say, it's not a problem. You send all your emails to Preston because I don't do with it.
No, we've got to be honest. Like, I hang out with a lot of the blues players
Mhm.
here in Jakarta. They have to know the history of the blues. I have to know the history of folk music. I went to Ireland. I loved Ireland. Was amazing for me because that's an origin of that kind of folk music, of acoustic music. We're talking
Mhm.
Celtic culture came over to New England through the Appalachian, through Canada, and I'm from New England. I got roots in New England for how many years? My white side is French Canadian. So, okay, we're there rooted in this area for I don't know how long, not that long, let's be true, a few generations. And so, that's the music. Like, yeah, it came from those areas in this style of folk music.
Well, I think in any way you sit down through it, I love your particular style because it is so blessed and so textural. What is it like though? You know, I'm used to playing like with a band or just solo acoustically with my big guitar because it makes sense. You started actually, doing it in ukulele before you see it at every coffee house right now. People rocking and rolling with the ukulele. What was it like to be on the forefront of that? Like, how did it feel to be the it girl for the ukulele, at least in my head?
That's funny. And it like totally works. It's like little Asian girl with a little ukulele. I mean, I play guitar. Guitar is my first instrument. Ukulele is just another fun thing to play. It's portable. You can take it anywhere, especially when I travel. I got the ukulele. We're ready to go, ready to jump in on a session. When I went to Ireland, jumping in on
Hmm.
trads. And like, at least I'm not bringing another guitar. It's a ukulele. So at least I'm offering, something slightly
Hmm.
different to the sound. So that's always fun. Um, but you asked me about the ukulele, and then forget what else you asked, my friend.
Probably a long wandering question that really doesn't matter as much as we're now in the ukulele aspect of it. And we'll just go forward from there because I honestly don't remember. Um, just being real, just being real.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll take it.
as you are writing, as you are moving forward, you are now working on this new record, um, and you actively go out there as an artist and to understand different aspects of the music itself. What kind of stuff should we expect, and what is going to surprise some of your audience off this new stuff that you're working on?
Oh, that's a cool question.
Thank you. I want to know. Inquiring minds.
So what's been incredible is I'm now in the studio finally. This is my third year in Indonesia. The first two were kind of like establishing, getting some funds, you know, I was working a bunch as well, adapting to this culture and everything. And now I've been in the studio this year. So I just released a single called New England Baby. And
Okay.
that's what you would expect from me, I would say. But I'm working with Indonesian musicians now for this stuff, and you guys, they're incredible. They're insane, and I'm in Jakarta City, so this is where like everybody from the archipelago comes, you know. So all the talent is here in this huge, crazy city. So I have the advantage of location here. And so I'm working with a producer, an indie rock producer, Leonardo Ringo, and his works so far have been mostly in like pretty hard indie rock, and he even right before me produced like a straight ahead punk band. So here I am with my pop folk music, and so he's been adding these touches that are, yeah, pretty unexpected for me and probably for my audiences, a lot bigger. We've got a lot of instruments on this track. Really, the arrangements, you know, are a lot more, they're just bigger. And then the next single, I think, is going to be a song called Golden Door that I wrote on
Ooh, I hope
piano.
we hear it on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City made EZ Blues is in the building and live from Indonesia. Ashley, I hope I didn't lose your train of thought. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Preston.
No problem.
So yeah, so I'm working on the rest of my EP. There's going to be 4 songs released before the end of the year, and the next song is like kind of, it's super dramatic. Like it's got one of those big key changes at the end. I'm wailing, I'm screaming. I come from a musical theater background,
Right.
so that's really kind of coming out in the composition of my songs. There's like kind of an epic one, and then there'll be a little bit more soft folk, you know, plucky songs, and then I think maybe the big one will surprise people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, you know, as being a computer society as we are nowadays, right? Sitting here talking with you on Zoom, right? Are you documenting, like doing a social media documentation of what it's like writing this record, putting the record together? Going to be like a good way, kind of, because you are, you know, an experience aspect, and you're living something that not a lot of people have the opportunity to do. So I hope I'm like spilling the beans that you have this great documentary coming through on the process of this. If not, then we're both gonna look bad. But it'll mainly be my fault. So it's fine.
Excuse me. Okay.
All good.
Indonesians are super connected. Like the social media is strong here. You know, there's that thing, if it's not online, then it didn't happen. You know, almost to an extreme degree, whereas, you know, you feel that like pressure to do more and more in social media. And also on the other hand, I played this gig with a bunch of other artists, and I missed one girl's set. So afterwards, I asked her. I said, "Hey, how was your show? How did it feel?" Because I'm like, you know, for me it was like one way. I'm interested, like, how was it for you? You know? And she goes, "Well, there was a good response on social media." I was like, "Okay." I want to know how that audience felt. Like, what was,
Yeah.
you know? And her answer was about the social media. So like, on the one hand, people got to focus, to be, in my opinion, in the wrong direction. But on the other hand, it's really nice to be able to, you know, tell stories online to you guys, to other people that aren't here. Like, it's opened up my eyes to the advantages. And you do have the pressure. So to answer your question, there's been a bit of documentation. You know, I take like little videos. If you go to my Instagram, ashley.aisha, Aisha, spelled Aisyah. You can find me there, and on one of my like highlights, you know, you can like watch some of the stories from the beginning of the behind the scenes process. So as opposed to having a proper story, yeah, something I could look into, another project.
Well, here's the thing. All you really have to do is just continue to just go in the moment and take 20 to 30 minutes of video of each day of being in, you know, in a different, from a different angle, you know, and then even you can take like all the stories that you have on Instagram, see if you can download them all again, put them together, put them out on TikTok, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, you know, type of clip, and continue to do that. And then you reshare that onto your Instagram and then onto the Facebook, and it continuously feeds itself. But not only that, you also get to share this very unique experience. I tell people all the time, you know, if we know it is attainable, not to sit there and try to be the next Taylor Swift, but there's the story of Ashley Hamel that went to another country and, you know, got to actually wheel and deal. And this is how she actually did it, you know, from her perspective. That's going to inspire the next group and then the next group and so forth and so on. It says, as humans, we die two deaths. We die our physical death, and then when the last person who ever knew anything about us passes, you die again. By doing something like this, we can add maybe another 15, 20, 30. Who knows? We're still talking about Chuck Berry almost 100, you know, in what, 80 something years occurred. So it could go on for even longer. I think it'd be a smart idea, and it'd be a really great way to help market with more freedom these releases of the singles, and then hopefully the Bandcamp release of all the singles in one like packaging. Not saying, you know, from a marketing point of view you should do that, but from a marketing point of view you
Snaps
should
to
do
you,
that.
sir. Thank you. Yeah, that's great.
No problem. We can talk more. Like you know, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah, I love to talk shop, you know, like
Yeah. All right. Word.
we always are watching all these things on Instagram of like, here's the next thing you should do. But it's like so much better to have an actual conversation about these things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we rarely get to do
Yeah.
that.
And the whole other thing is like one of the reasons why I do this on the show all the time with people is because I expect nothing from this. Like I expect that if you have a good idea for someone somewhere down the road, you just give it to them and you say good luck and have fun with it. And then, you know, if I see this break into an art form down the road, I get to smile because I know that this moment comes. You know what I mean? So like that's just kind of dope enough for me. Um, but that's very difficult in our business. It's very difficult in our industry, you know, especially, you know, everyone gets so lawyer bound and legal bound and like, oh, it's been said on the air, so it's copywritten. And no, I don't care. I don't care about that. Make good art, go out there and make good art and have as much fun as possible. Because as I tell people all the time when they get nervous before playing a live show, it's called playing music for a reason. Go out and have fun. And the more fun you have, the more fun the audience will have. And I love that fun taking you on this incredible journey. Is this, I don't know, is this like the stopping point, or is this merely a layover on the journey that is Ashley?
Wow. Love it. People ask me that a lot. They ask me that here, they ask me that back home in Connecticut, like, how long are you going to be out there for? How long are you going to stay? What's your plan? This is my third year. It's going to be 3 years officially in late December, and then it will be my fourth year, you know. So my work here is not done. The goal right now is to establish. I feel like there's still a lot more ways to go. Every time you think that, oh, this next thing is going to be the thing that helps me, you know, with a few more steps, like I'm going to take a jump and jump a few steps. It's not, and you actually have to still walk. That's what I've been learning, and it's a good hard lesson because we always expect things to go faster. We still kind of secretly hold out for some kind of savior to come in and help us with this next thing. And my lesson again and again and again is nope, girl, you got to take it the slow way, and that's the only way to move forward. Okay, fine. So we still have a long ways to go, and I accept that. I'm just getting a few playlists on the Spotify. I'm trying to play that game for the first time, like the spot playlisting. I mean, I see a lot of my other contemporaries here in the Indonesian indie scene, and a lot of the young kids, they've got tens of thousands of plays. Right now I have less than 200. My biggest plays is like 1,500. Okay, I haven't even broken 2,000 streams on any of my songs. So we're starting there. It's funny because I'm such a live performer, and that's where I get my joy, is from performing on any kind of stage. So to start to grow my skills as a recording artist, it's been challenging. It's not my forte. I don't particularly enjoy about it, and I feel one of those things like everybody hates me. Like, I don't know if I'm easy. I don't know if I'm good to work with. I'm in that spot right now. Still have to go through with it, and we still have to figure out how to manage myself in the studio so that everyone can get this work done, so that I can be a leader sometimes and then a supporter in other times in the studio, having to figure out which situation is which. As the artist, but not necessarily the lead producer, right? When do I step in? When do I step back? Stuff like that. It's such a challenging but a fruitful journey. So where am I going next, man? Right now, we're still just trying to establish here in this Indian ecosystem. Not all doors are open to me as a foreigner, as it should be. Some stages are not open to me. I'm not from here. I can't speak the language very well. So, there's I'm gonna still be in a niche here in this, and that's all right. We'll see how far I can go within that niche. As an English language singer-songwriter, as a folk artist, we'll see which stages open up to me. I'm going to be in a musical at the end of the year. I'm going to be in a show called Mamma Mia. And
good for you.
It's with a new theater group. I've been here, and I've got the lead. I've got the Meryl Streep role, Donna Sheridan. The oldest one in the cast. Okay. Somebody's got to be the mom.
Whatever.
I'm so excited to go back to acting and go back to theater. I've been doing improv for the past like 10, 15 years because I couldn't do live music and shows. They take up too much weekends. Their runs in Connecticut could be like 3-4 weekends of shows, plus the rehearsing throughout the weekday. I'm also playing gigs, so I couldn't gig and also do shows. Here, I can. Woo, so I'm back. And so I'm hoping, since I've got, the lead role, one of the leading roles, that opens up opportunities in other theater, perhaps film, like who knows, honestly. So I gotta be ready for that, and also to connect that in with my original music, see if there's any crossover. I'm gonna start to play some like musical theater covers in my shows,
Good for you.
I have already been doing that a little bit. Stuff like that. I just gotta be ready for whatever happens. Still working on my visa situations as well, which is, some of the legal stuff. So we'll see. Like, this could be a launching moment, especially when my EP comes out at the end of the year, 2024. Bring it on. We'll see what happens. The long-term goal, even before I moved here, I would like to be a bi-coastal artist. Just my two coasts are very far. This Nusantara, the archipelago, and the East Coast of America. But I don't know, because when I went back home, the shows I played were super fun and super great, but I started to feel the fatigue already after only like 6 or 7 shows back home. But it is good to have this grounding here to like fill up my sense of self, so that when I go back to America, as they try to shake you out of your sense of self, you still have the grounding. That's the most beautiful thing that Indonesia has given me as an Asian American, is that grounding in myself. Because when I go to America and it's everybody's there, and maybe I'm in more homogenous spaces and they say some nonsense things to me, they ask me some nonsense questions, they try to shake me from where I am and who I am, and I've got this grounding to defend against those microaggression attacks. And so who knows, maybe I will have those two sides, two audiences of my career, and maybe not, and we'll see what happens.
I'm just gonna be super real, and I'm saying, 30 minutes every spot you go to, once a day with the record, whether it be practice or the journey itself. You record it, you make content, it's online. They can become, part of audition reels that you can then use for content as well. Say, I don't know, you get interviewed for a podcast that's through Zoom. Take some of that, put it up there, put it through your social media. There's a market for it, and it's you literally just you genuinely being you. And that's, I think, the main message I want to hammer home for everyone. Anyone out there who has any type of dream and you want to work for your dream, and that main reason why is it's what it looks like to you. No matter, no one else is going to tell you how this path goes. The journey is going to be absolutely bizarre. You're going to wind up in places you won't even realize you're there. You're going to meet 1.5 million people that you wish you washed your hands better. But each one of these moments is just so super valuable, because it's helping define you as an artist, but also you as a human. And the closer your art just becomes the way you live your life. I think that is a true freedom that I don't think a lot of people have. So I think more people like yourself, and like I think I'm trying to do in realizing that I'm actually living the life that I wanted, just not on the scale I thought, and that's okay. I think it's important for people like you and I to document that stuff and put it out through social media, because also, if we're being real, you could probably make some money doing it too. All right, just between me and you probably can make some money. I'm just saying. And then it's also free advertising for your EP and your music. But that's just my secret. Okay.
It's all about it's energy, right? Like, let's embrace this energy, and like you said, trying to integrate just like living an artistic life. You said the freedom, that's exactly what I'm going for. Like, as an artist, you don't want to be tied down to all these other obligations. You want to I have a nice mosaic of obligations. I do some wage work with my skills there, and I'm still growing my skills there. I'm still learning. I'm having a good time. I'm not doing wage work that's taking from my spirit. You know what I mean? Choosing a proper avenue to do your wage work, and then the rest of your energy, putting it towards your own business, your own legacy, like you said, all that's important. But it's constantly a process, right? As trying to integrate the art and the life and living your authentic self on all platforms, on all spaces. It's constantly a process, and you're constantly renegotiating, checking which resources you have at any time, and making moves from where you are, right? Yeah, I had no idea I would end up in Indonesia. My family, we're all surprised. That's why my mom never told me. She had no idea. We didn't know. But it turned out I'm a
Mm-hmm.
musician. It turned out I'm an artist, which was the breaking my mother's
Mm-hmm.
heart
Yeah.
that I turned out to be an artist. And so here we are. And yeah, it led me here. I can say that with
Mm-hmm.
confidence because a lot of it wasn't, I made efforts to put myself in places for it to come by. And that's why I was ready holding a basket, to catch opportunities and to catch things. And then the rest fell. It fell. It didn't come from me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was kind of funny when I ended up here, when I landed, for real with all my luggages, ready to start my new life, said goodbye to everybody. I had to leave like within a month. They told me you need to be here in a month. I said, oh, I grabbed all my stuff. And I landed here and I felt like, okay, now what? Because I did feel like the universe and God and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, laid a path and then just like dropped me off at summer
Mm-hmm.
camp and said, all right, good luck. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
hello. I did have a little bit of that moment. Like, what now? Where are the signs now? I said, girl, you're on your own for a little bit. You gotta make more moves and hold out more baskets,
Mm-hmm.
know where to place the baskets. That was that first part, surveying
Yep.
the scene. Where do I put these baskets? And then, alhamdulillah, they've fallen since
Mm-hmm.
then. But there was a moment of doubt and
Of
fear.
course.
Like, what do I do now?
Yeah,
Well, I know what you're going to do now. You're going to be on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. That's what you're going to do now with myself, Preston, and EZ BlueZ. I'm going to butcher this name and forgive me because I was multitasking back and forth, listening to the great conversation you two are having. But this has this great music video. But the only disappointment is I had it on mute. And I'm not going to butcher the name. It's called Caluagra. It's on your main page on your website, and it's so beautiful how everything's just written. And just tell me a little story behind that, because I was going back and forth. I was skimming.
Sure. It's kind of pronounced how it's written. You want to
Gotcha.
try again?
No, because I don't want to be disrespectful. I really don't.
Kaluwarga. I'll say with an English accent. Kaluwarga.
Colorado. There we go. There we go.
Kaluwarga. That means family in Indonesian. God, I feel like Ohana means family.
I had that moment too. I'm not even gonna pretend. I had that same moment. I was like, oh, we had our Ohana moment. Yay. Check. You check that off my Disney Plus list now. Damn it, another $16.99 this month.
Needs to happen at any point. I'm like a Disney princess trying to be like a rock star. Okay.
Again, perfect documentation for social medias. This story's like, I've now got merch planned for you. Like, let's get real. Gloves.
Man.
I'm thinking gloves, like superhero like gloves. I'm just right. We market just gloves, no shirts, just gloves.
Like boxing gloves?
No, like gloves, like gloves.
I'm picturing like dainty gloves, like I'm sipping tea gloves.
Yes.
That's cool. I do like merch that's useful.
Yeah.
That's why I've been like, I gotta be also a retailer. In one of my hats as an independent artist. I was like, I can't be a retailer, but okay, with every burden, there's an opportunity. I do like to make actual stuff. I made like mugs for my WZRD because it starts off like a morning radio station. So
That's cool.
sipping your coffee, listening to. Anyway, yeah. So those are good ideas. But about keluarga, which means family, I wrote it and recorded it in Middletown with Michael Arafay at the Coffee House studio, and filmed the music video in my apartment on Alden Ave in Westville, New Haven, and also at the Buttonwood Tree too in Middletown. And my friend Carrie Viswanathan, who was also a mixed, Asian white person. I think his other half is Indian, South Indian. And so, yeah, it was nice to bring him along to be the director for the music video because I had already worked with him on a 48-hour film fest like a few years back. And because I was like I didn't know anybody. I don't still know anybody in like film. And so I had the one experience, tapped Carrie after a few years, hey, you want to do this? And thankfully he was on board. And so the song is kind of about being, yeah, mixed. It's kind of a song for the diaspora, like having family in multiple parts of the world, feeling that sense of tornness. One of the lines is, will I ever put together the little parts of this little heart, come on home. It's also about home. I read a lot of songs about home, trying to find a place to belong, as you mentioned. And so the music video's got all these props from, it's just a lot of stuff from Indonesia. People are like, where'd you get all that stuff? I said, I just went around my house, my parents' house, and just grabbed, all the stuff that you just have over the years. Little Balinese masks, little the wayang kulit, the little puppet things, everything. I just grabbed it from my parents' house and set. So it's about that, and it's that song in my latest single, New England Baby, kind of identity songs talking about my story. And I'm looking forward to the next few releases being a little bit less about my story, and hopefully people can still connect to the songs, but the next songs will be a little bit more broad and a little bit more just about maybe a bit more universal feelings. So yeah, the last two have been very story aligned, just as a way to set up my foundation. Hey, this is me. This is some aspects, some things about me, so that we can move forward, and I don't have to talk about this anymore. I don't know.
No, it's such an interesting thing, because like as a songwriter, I fully understand. I went through this, and I'm writing about it, so I never have to go through it again until I have to play it live, and then relive every second of it until I can no longer take it anymore, and my mental health is outweighing my bank account. If my bank account is doing much better than my mental health, I'm going to take it. That's fine. But when the mental health starts, no, we got a problem, we're going to have to stop the car. I get it. I fully understand. I write songs, and then I have nervous breakdowns on stage every flipping night. And they're like, "Oh, how'd you do?" I was like, "I'm tired. I go sleep now." But as we talk about the end of the evening, and how we deal with it, we are starting to come to a close as well. We only have a couple more moments, and we want to give this 100% to you. Please let our listeners know how they can get in touch with you, how they can invest in what you're doing, how they can support you. Do you have one of those, hey, buy Ashley a cup of coffee things? Because there are websites for stuff like that. And if you don't, once again, when you and I talk about your social media game and how we're going to step it up, you're going to do that, because that's going to be another way where people can invest in you. The more content you put out there, the more they're going to be invested. The more invested, the more they will invest. I'm just saying. But go ahead.
Sure. Well, thank you guys for having me on. This has been such a wonderful way to wake up and to talk about the things that we love, and I loved it. Thank you. You can find me on ashleyhamel.com. I'm most active on Instagram. Again, that's at ashley.aisha, ASHLEY.AISYAH. You can find me on there. I'm always on my stories. Also, I'm on Facebook, Ashley Hamel. And I do, a lot on Facebook as well. So you can stay in touch there. Don't have to give me any money at this point. I just ask that you listen to New England Baby. Let me know what you think, because this is the first time I'm just like putting it out. I have no idea. So let me know what you think and like give me that feedback or whatever. And I will see you guys online.
One question before you go. I do have the one question. You have a Bandcamp?
Oh, yes, I have a Bandcamp.
There's a place where people can financially support you.
True. You can buy my music. There's the minimum, and then you can add on however much you want. My Harry Potter record is up there. Download that, you can have it forever. You can own
Mhm.
those MP3s. Oof, you can own the waves, bro. Come on.
It's been an honor and a privilege. Thank you so much for being with us. And we hope to have you next time around as well. So look forward to seeing the next chapters. And I look forward to having many conversations with you because, like you said, I think there's something there. And that's awesome.
Ashley,
Thank
we
you,
appreciate you.
Preston. Thank
Definitely.
you, Blues.
Definitely. Thank you on WNHH LP 103.5 FM. And this has been Behind the Brand.
Okay, this song is called New England Baby. Sitting here all alone, nobody knows my face at all. Unless I'm on the microphone, I really don't exist at all. I try to be lovely, well, I try to be cool, I tried being lonely. Does it make me more interesting to you? Sitting here watching white people do the thing they do, politely listening. Bob my head, tap my feet, it's the least that I can do without causing a scene. It's hard being lovely, it's hard being cool, it's hard feeling lonely in this stuffy room. Wanna know what it's like to feel assimilated. Wanna know who I am without feeling so dang jaded. Oh, New England baby, you mess me up, living in peace and comfort till it's not enough. Ah. Ooh, yeah. Flying out on a Tuesday, no one knows my face at all. If you blink your eyes, you lose me. I'm stepping out of place into the sun. Well, it's nice being this lovely. Well, it's nice being this cool. Well, it's nice being this lonely. Yeah. No one telling you what to do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wanna know what it's like to feel assimilated. Wanna know who I am without feeling so damn jaded. Oh, New England baby, you mess me